Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're going to be reacting to episodes 12 and episodes 13. That kind of sounded weird, but of Revolutionary Girl Utena. We're back. It's Utena Tuesday because I'm late. Ooh, that's pretty bad. So here's the gist. We had Easter. I had to travel back from Easter yesterday, so I didn't have time to record. But I still want to do two, so it may be a thing where we kind of just watch two episodes together and then kind of talk about them in tandem. Kind of like how I've been doing for Konosuba, but maybe in a little bit more depth. We'll see how we go there. And in the essence of saving a little bit of time as well, I wrote this up last night. Yeah, so a lot of the comments, there was 27 of them, some of which were quite long, and thank you to all the commenters and that kind of thing. Oh, I could get up a list, but that sounds like work. They're all about similar subjects, so I thought I would do a thing which I've done in the past where I summarize the points into specific points. So I can kind of talk about them all at once instead of, talking about them as they come up and repeating myself, because I don't like repeating myself, unless I do sometimes. But anyway, moving on. There was two major points, but they're kind of linked. One was about the Shadow Girls and how it's probably one of the more important Shadow Girl sequences, at least for me, right? It's revealing. It's revealing of a lot of things, and I'll talk about them. And then that links into the second point, which is more about Utena, and me, probably something I missed out on. I was almost there. If I followed my instincts to another couple of degrees, I probably would have found it. Utena needs to be judged in a similar way that everybody else gets judged, at least by me. In the same way that Miki got judged, and Juri got judged, and Torga's getting judged, and Saionji got judged. Utena's got to get judged, and we're going to tell her off about all that kind of stuff. Either way, let's explain these Shadow Girls. If you guys remember, it's kind of either girl, right? One is shooting an arrow at the other one's fucking head, and she's got an apple on her head, right? So this comes from something that has been recounted in pop culture, and I've kind of got it through that kind of osmosis as opposed to hearing the actual story. So the story is the story of William Tell. I don't know what he did, but he did something and it was bad, and he got punished by a noble, or a governor, a governing body, some overbearing system, right? He's punished to shoot an apple off his son's head, right? Of course, he's not going to want to hit his own son, so it's a little bit of a, cruel, ironic joke, right? You got to shoot this apple, but make sure you don't shoot your own son in the head. That's the punishment, right? So the way I believe this story goes originally is that it isn't exactly like they don't do it multiple times. It's kind of a one and done type deal. If you can hit the apple, you hit the apple and you're off scot-free. In this version, the Shadow Girls version, Tell is forced to shoot the apple off his head, or off his son's head, until someone gets hurt. Is this not similar to how Utena and Co are continuing the duels until they get hurt? Or until potentially a certain outcome is achieved, or if we want to take my other metaphor down here a little bit more, where the sun is Anshi, are they going to continue dueling until she gets hurt? Like actually hurt, whether that's physically or emotionally. I don't know, one of the two, right? But yeah, you hear it in the thing. It's like, this is time 30,100 and whatever. That's the amount of times we've done this little test, right? And I keep hitting the apple, right? Except this version ends with the son telling the father to aim a little bit higher, telling William Tell to aim a little bit higher. For right now, they're aiming an arrow directly at his head. Again, this indicates a break in the cycle. This indicates that something has changed, that Utena is no longer in possession of the Rose Bride. So that's all well and good, right? We have this story, it's reenacted, blah, 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 blah. Where it becomes interesting is when we apply it to the characters we already have, and why they do things. So I'm seeing Tell as a duelist, as any duelist, really. It's pretty, broad in that way. I would apply Utena. You can apply Utena. You could also apply whoever you freaking want, really. All that matters is that Anshi is the son here. But who's the noble? Who is the overbearing system making all of this happen? Making these people continue to shoot arrows at the sun? That you don't have to keep shooting arrows, guys. It really... Do we? I guess the motivator is this power to revolutionize the world or whatever the hell, but Utena doesn't care about that, right? And then you start to think a little bit more. Why is Utena even continuing to participate here? It's so she doesn't get expelled. And the only reason she doesn't want to get expelled is her own personal prince fantasy thing, right, from her past. So you're not very selfless. You're kind of selfish. You could you could make it so this system stops right now by literally walking away. You could walk away right now and actually save Anchi, right? But you don't. You're still that much into finding your own personal prince in all of this. And that's where the folly of Utena lies, I feel. So I'll continue here. Anchi, who is analogous to the sun in this metaphor, is forced to participate in this game over and over again. Does she have the power to disobey the father or the people punishing him? So she doesn't have the power to do either. The father being the duelist, or the person in possession of the Rose Bride. I'm going to continually put you up on this thing and proverbially shoot arrows at you, and you have no say in the matter. And of course, the system's not going to let her just walk away either. So it sucks. She's in a bad position. And in this Shadow Girls version, right, let's take it back to the actual story. How does the father actually feel about the son if he continues to participate, right? So it's not a very fatherly thing to do. I think at the end of the day, if you're doing this that many times, and if you're forced to do it over and over again by whoever this noble body overseeing you is, right? You're not a very good father if you continue to shoot arrows. You should show some genuine selflessness and just say no and be imprisoned or whatever. And again, we've already kind of done this. Consider this in combination with Utena and her actions at the end of the episode. Despite knowing that she feels a certain way about Torga, continues to participate, doesn't have a full heart in it, and is judged accordingly. She loses, and that kind of thing. And then what does that actually mean for Anchi now? Is she actually in more danger now? You'd have to think so. That sucks. That's a bad thing that Utena did. With great power comes great responsibility, as we always say. Either way, this is a little bit more focused on Utena as we continue here. But the kiss-off that Anchi gives at the end of this episode is a gut punch, because it puts Utena in the same category as Saionji. Cool. So where's the audience? We're based on the perspective of Utena. We want to see her succeed. She's been shown to be likable. She's the protagonist of the show. It's named after her, right? We want to see her succeed. Seeing her discarded like this, like a side character, like a villain of the week, it hurts. It really, really does. And that's the kind of devastating part of that episode. And this is about why I finished on it, right? Well, I went a little bit into here, but I went, oh yeah, that kind of sucks. It's a bit devastating or whatever, but moving on. Don't move on. Think about it a little bit more, right? So, Anchi's change of heart. What does it mean? It's way more revealing than what I considered at the time. It calls into question all the interactions she had with Utena and if they were real or not. How valid were they? Did Anchi adjust to how Utena wanted her to be? So again, I'll talk through my reasoning here. Torga gets possession of Anchi, right? Anchi seemingly immediately changes to suit Torga's needs. Whatever he wants in that scene, whatever he almost subconsciously wants, is what Anchi will provide, right? So Torga actually feels a little bit smug about the whole Utena thing, right? About actually stealing the Rose Bride and doing all that kind of thing. She's going to be smug in turn. I think that's how that works. But if that's how that works, then what was she doing the entire time when she was with Utena, right? Utena wants to be a prince. Anchi simply gets herself into positions whereby Utena can express her princeliness and therefore make her feel better? Is that what's going on here? I don't know. So if episode 3, right? Did she almost subconsciously get into a position where she was at the center of everybody, where everybody was looking at her? How much of that can even be believed now as actual Anchi backstory motivation stuff? That she actually hates crowds and being seen in crowds and was put in this bullied position and needed saving. How much of that was by design and how much of that was actually organic? We don't know now. Who knows? It also calls into question Utena's princeliness, right? And what that actually means to her. She's very confused. She's being drawn between two sides, the princeliness stuff and the princessy stuff, right? She wants to find her prince. She clearly likes her prince. She wants to see him and stuff. That's cool. That's awesome. That clashes with the prince stuff. These are two sides of Utena being pulled in two different directions. And at the end of the day, the kind of whole Rose Bride system judges Torga to be the better prince here, right? Because of Utena's confusion at the sight of somebody who she thinks is very princely. in Torga. So was all that prince stuff just an act? Or was it a misconstrued attempt to reunite herself with her own personal prince as well, right? Being a prince, so I'm around other princes so I can find my prince who is promised. There was also something in the comments that I wanted to clarify as well. I know that Utena doesn't remember what her prince looks like. I'm being funny. it's a joke. It's yet to be revealed if that prince character that the audience sees is an actual character with dialogue or is a metaphor. It's both at the moment. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if that bloke has dialogue at one point, and then I'll be a little bit more, I guess, happy with who the prince is and who the prince isn't. But at this point, maybe it could have been anybody. We don't know. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to leave it. We're not going to think about it too hard. This brings me, again, this whole thing here, this brings me to the final point. Like, this is the sticking point as to why Utena even wants the duel in episode 11 in the first place, right? Anshi's assertion about wanting to have friends, about seeing, you know, some camaraderie with Wakaba and wanting to pursue that further, right? Seems fair enough. Was this just another thing that she made up to make Utena in that instance want to duel in the Rose Duel system? Don't know. I do not know. It will be revealed, I'm guessing, by the end of these 2 episodes. If not, we may go in some crazier directions. I've got some prediction stuff. And then I guess I'll briefly mention this stuff. Again, I haven't read the book Between Men, There Was More by Eve Kosofsky-Sedgwick. But this was talked about in the comments and I found it kind of fascinating. And this is, again, the Cliff Notes version of a comment, which was already the Cliff Notes version, so don't take this as gospel. But the way I understood it, it's like men can be perceived as humans, whilst women are perceived as possessions, at least in current society. Again, this isn't what I believe, this is the assertions of the book. Don't want to get myself in trouble here. So then the argument continues, right? Anything that men do with women is in the service of impressing other men. I think that's why it's called homosocial in here somewhere as well, right? It's never about the feelings of the women or what they actually want or if we think we'll be a good couple or that kind of thing. It's, hey, I want to possess her so I can show her off to somebody else and impress them, right? Which sucks. That's bad, but also this book was written not in current times. So I'd like to think we're different than that now, at least a little bit, maybe in certain parts of the world, maybe not. Anyway, I'm doing a lot of covering my ground here, but how can we apply this to Revolutionary Girl Utena, right? Well, take Saionji as an example, right? He's the most prominent here. He only wants to gain Anshi so he can have access to something eternal, right? And what is that something eternal in service of? Impressing Torga. What? Sounds almost a little bit homosocial if you think about it. Torga, very similarly here, right? Only wants Anshi in so much as I can perceive right now wanting to get to Utena. At least a little bit, right? It's part of his motivation. He clearly likes Utena more romantically than Anshi. But Anshi's the key to make all of this happen. You see what I'm saying? And then finally Utena, right? And Utena one's a little bit weird because she's not actually a man, but a princely persona kind of is. Again, bear with me here. She only possesses Anshi and the power of the Rose Duels and the power of the Rose Bride and the power to revolutionize the world and all these other things right now in service of finding her own prince and completing that part of her own personal character arc and that kind of thing. Again, wanting to impress another dude. Like, do you see what I'm saying here? It's a little bit weird. That's not how things should be, and the narrative is casting judgment on all these characters for such a thing. And I'm running out of time here, so I might just speed through a lot of the rest of this, but because I've got a little bit left to go. Anyway, a dichotomy exists between Anshi and Utena when it comes to normalcy as well. Utena isn't normal by any stretch of the imagination, yet she pushes for Anshi to want to have a normal life, contrasting the crazy existence she has now. So why does Utena think that Anshi would want normalcy, right? But when has she ever indicated that? They're not mutually exclusive. I think I talked about this last week. Being normal and being happy, not the same thing, right? And I don't know why Utena is conflating the two. Utena doesn't dig as deep as she should to discover what Anshi really, really wants. Or maybe she can't even do that currently at this time. Again, I think I'm being a little bit unfair to Utena in this segment overall. Anshi's a tough cookie. I don't even think she maybe even can express her true desires at this moment. She just is fully in this rose game thing and is motivating people one way or the other, right? We'll talk about this a bit more down here, and I'll continue that point. But yeah, next point. It's intriguing how Utena projects this idea of princeliness onto Torga through the episode, represented by his white rose border as opposed to Utena's pink. So Utena's pink, I'm gathering, is a little bit more associated with her feminine side, a little bit more, where the white rose is very, very much prince stuff. So Torga gets the white border, so he's probably going to win the duel this episode. He's the guy that in Utena's own mind is representing princeliness more. And again, it's intriguing how all this happens in the same episode where we are judging her princely persona the most, where it's brought into the most, I guess, harsh criticism by the narrative. Like, this valuing of princesses in the narrative as in need of saving is permeated through all the characters in the show and hasn't brought any of them happiness, right? Like, every single character still thinks that princesses need saving and that kind of thing, right? And, you know, trying to, I guess, have these princely aspirations of saving the girl, saving the damsel in distress and all that kind of stuff. Is anyone here happy? Is anyone here happy doing this? Maybe Torga right now, but I don't think that's going to last. Maybe we shouldn't be doing such a thing. Maybe that's not the route to happiness, let's say. And then this here is I kind of conjoined two other comments, so I mean I could credit them specifically, but I forgot I forgot their names. So here we go. An interesting mental exercise is to go through Anshi's actions up to this point and ask, knowing what I know now, why do I think Anshi did this? It's weird how Anshi always seems to do stuff that ends up in the duelists doubling down on their convictions to duel. Playing the piano in front of Mickey, offering Julie the rose, giving the kitten to Torga, telling Utena she wants to make friends right as Utena is about to pull the ring off. This is very, very specific. Now I'm actually reading it again. That timing is right there. It's like by acting as their shining thing, or the means to obtain it, she draws them into this dueling game, whether by accident or on purpose. So, I think she's like being... I don't think Anshi's like an evil dude. That's what I'm getting at, right? There's something about the game that's like controlling her. It has to be. Has to be for mine. And yeah, you're right here, whoever said this. All these things are true. All these things here. And they do perpetuate the game. And nobody's walked away yet. At least not by choice. Sanji kind of got banished. And yeah, I mean, we're going to take all this and try to put it into our heads and then consider these next two episodes. Which I have some baseline predictions about. Also, that ran long. It wasn't supposed to run as long as it did. But anyway. I saw Utena in a girl's uniform last week in the preview for this episode. So I'm going to imagine that there's going to be some Utena in girl's uniform type action here. And that's going to ingratiate her into society a lot more, right? She's no longer the special one. She's no longer the anime main character. She may even be falling into a bit of normalcy. And, you know, she's anything but normal. What does this mean? Is she going to get herself out of this slump? How is she going to get herself out of this slump? I don't know. But I'm going to watch the episode now and I'm going to find out. I am fascinated. I really, really want to watch this. So I'm going to do that. And chill stuff. So if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord, join Discord, love Discord, Discord. And yeah, jumping into episode 12 of Revolutionary Girl Utena right now. Oh yeah, I realized I didn't really talk about this at all. I did a poll on Discord, about the subs because somebody was, I guess, critical of the subs last week. It didn't have enough votes at all overall. I think it got like 8 votes. You know, like 3 one side, 5 another side maybe. Or maybe even less than that. Nobody cares. let's face it, nobody cares. So that's all well and good. That's fine. I'm just going to keep the subs that I have now and then swap them over after episode 24. Those subs are right now the Some Stuffs version, which is the official Revolutionary Girl Utena translation project thing, which is all well and good. I mean, you have the Some Stuff or you don't. 23 minutes and 27 seconds, so sync up on that, and picture-in-picture in the description below. And I'm just going to jump into the episode now with a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. At least I think it was. That's what the poll results were. I can check right now on my phone. Yeah, it was 3 votes to 5 votes. The 5 votes were voting for an older subset as opposed to the one I have now. But I'm not changing my shit for 2 votes. Yeah. I should maybe read through these lyrics again at some point too. Now again, I don't know if I was reading this incorrectly, but I know that we move into a different arc soon. I'm just aware of that. I thought that this was after this episode, but people have told me that these 2 episodes go together, 12 and 13. So I'm happy enough to do both. Because again, we've basically seen up to this in the narrative, and then there's horses, and then there's the prince waking up, and then it seems like we change a lot. So I'm cognizant of that. Just reading the tea leaves in the opening there. Yeah, true. I remember. There goes the white rose. Very cool shot. Flower petals on Archie. Damn. Yep. Okay. Yeah, Tenjo-san. She asleep in class? Oh no, she's not in attendance. Yeah, she's not there, bro. How'd it take someone so long to see that? Perhaps, for friendship's sake, if I can read. Wakaba? Yeah. Fair enough. Have the day off. Yeah, she's not. She doesn't go here anymore. I don't know if it's a happy, excited Wakaba type day. Depression. Please don't look in my mouth. Oh, don't bring it up. Kinda. Spooky. With white roses, you reckon? Oh, this flashback, maybe. Now, this is her going. Oh, she just left. Oh, that's her leaving. Interesting. Yeah, but that's not your normal uniform. Do you reckon she washes her clothes every day? Like that one uniform? Ooh, that look really suits her, you reckon? Pink roses, by the way. At least the people love it. Yeah, normal, huh? Yeah. Hey. Hi. What's going on? Him and Mia. Yeah, I'd be weirded out too. Now I'm interested to see if Archie does something here to make Utena want to continue with the dueling stuff. If she's going to want Utena to keep being in the game too. Choo Choo looks fucking crazy. What's going on there? I have to be normal. Pay attention to Wakaba challenge. Impossible. Can't do it. Alright, let's see smug ass fucking Torga. Yeah. I know. Break the world shell. Alright, gang, what's on the agenda? It's true. I'm annoyed. Hitoribochi. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of episodes left. Okay. That must piss those other two off, huh? Literal trophy wife. Come on, Wakaba. We have to inspire her. Show me something. Okay, fucking bitch. And you're here too. I don't want to go out with you. I mean, she does, though. That's the whole problem. Literal playboy. Get him, Wakaba. Fight him, Wakaba. Oh. Okay. I mean, uncalled for. Or did he dodge? Yeah, he dodged. Okay. No! Bro, people gotta snap out of this shit and start trusting Wakaba. Excuse me? uh, okay. Tanjo-san? No more Utena-sama for you. No, shut up. Well, you won't let me get it. Okay. Time to do some soul searching, bud. Time to figure some stuff out. Nah, but we hate Torga. He's just like showing off. We don't like that. Damn. Sorry, I'm busy, wife. I'm gonna go off and do something else. Me and my only friend. Okay. 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 Is this actual thoughts from you? Like real thoughts? Yeah. Okay. What do you want from me then? Correct. Love this shot, by the way. Me neither, really. I'm getting there though. I think. I hope. Yeah. Being normal isn't normal. It's like something you had was stolen. Interesting. We'll talk about what the uniforms represent as well, which is pretty obvious. Oh, she's so back. Somebody also like smeared grease on the lens. Oh, she's so back. Take back my normal. Okay. But I mean, I'm right here. Alright, throw down the gauntlet. That was odd looking. Who the hell is this? Just some other girl. Yeah, okay. She doesn't have colored hair. She doesn't count. Hell no. We're gonna be dueling. Yeah, that face from Archie before was really good too. Okay, Shadow Girls, show me something. I'm trying. I'm trying. Okay, were you aliens? Oh my god. Also that alien ship looked like some of the school architecture. That was cool as fuck. Oh, let's go. Support from an unlikely cause. Or source. What she said was a prop sword or something? I don't know. I was just kind of pogging out. This is very different too. It's kind of going up as a challenger, but also breaking normal convention. Interesting. Like, it's not the same approach. You know what I mean? That's very, very, very clever. Naruhodo. And then we see Torga doing this part, right? Yeah. See how the faces aren't too dissimilar? Okay, whatever you say, Torga. Do we get a little song here? I hope so. What? Oh. What? She's enchanting the sword? Also, you must say please? It's a lightsaber? Sure. So Himamea can put some goo on it if she wants to. Well, it's also very red, like you. Okay. I'm in trouble? Hmm. Whose cause here is more noble? Is the question I will ask. So that seems like something that the dual system cares about. Also, no song. Oh, nice song. Well, now you revealed it to me, sucker. Bub. For you. What's back then? Okay. Winning. Oh, that's fucking cool as shit. Alright, did we win? We did win. At least I think his rose is red. His violets are blue. Torga's on the ground, for he is slew. There you go. Okay, Utena chatted up and just won. But also there was some weird Power of Dio stuff there going on too. Okay, I mean, you saved her for the benefit of your own normal. This is very similar to the first episode. Or the second episode. One of the two. Okay. Okay. All's well that ends well. I guess. I don't feel good about this at all. I don't know if I'm supposed to. She regained her own normal. But did she learn any of the lessons that she should have learned? She was definitely at that point more noble than Torga, who was literally like the sleaziest guy ever this episode. And again, whatever this system is seemingly like casting judgment on that. But I don't know if Utena doubling down on her princely ways, saving the girl right in front of her, and then walking off into the sunset like the, back to status quo. I don't know if that's a good ending either. A lesson wasn't learnt, at least not yet. Don't know. Because aren't she this whole time is still just being passed around like a possession, really, right? Because Torga, who cares? He's like Playboy's Superman or something, right? But Utena's interested in the prince still. I'm protecting you, but I don't really care about you like that. It's a weird one. It rings weird to me. What the fuck am I looking at there? Alright, maybe I pause this, because literally I'm going to like watch it right now. So I'm going to do that. Weird episode. I guess I'll talk about it in combination with the next one. I think that'll give me a fuller picture. Again, I'll bring it up now. Rightio, episode 13 up there ready to go. Same deal, 23 minutes and 28 seconds on that one, so sync up accordingly. Some stuff, subset stuff, and picture and picture in the description below. Just going to give it a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. I guess, okay, I've just spent that last like 30 seconds just thinking. It brings me back to my original question. I guess for both of our main characters here, who are they really? Okay, it clearly seems like Utena is not this princess type character. She seemed goddamn miserable last episode, right? In her girl's uniform and all that kind of stuff, right? She's clearly more comfortable like this. But she's still being pulled in either direction. I still don't feel like this is truly her. She's kind of stuck in the middle, doesn't fall into either category. Anchi, same deal. Who is she really deep down? Who does she want to be? And what can I be happy about when she is? Does that make any sense? I don't know. I don't know. All right. Red Rose? Again, I'm colorblind. Help. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember. Don't know. I don't know if we'll meet again. Maybe this episode based off the preview. Gotcha. What about Red Rose, though? Tracing a path. Okay. Yeah. Talk to me. Now we're in space. She certainly has. Lilies, you say? What the fuck is going on? Okay, that was great. Yeah. Bro, it's like 4 a.m. Nanami's trying to sleep. Bro is sulking right now. Yeah, he's going crazy. He's like a mental. Yeah? Who's this Dragon Ball Z looking dude? Yeah? Talk to me. There he is. Hello, Prince Boy. Well, he wakes up in the opening. Oh, is that literally the... Is that, like, literally the show we're talking about? What? Oh, okay. It's a metaphor. Okay. I didn't know that the duels had names. Yeah. Is this one of the famed recap episodes? Maybe it is. I see. But we're framing it through a new character that reveals a lot more about setting and premise. Interesting. That's fascinating. Yeah, I need some kind of other sword, please. This is well edited, too. Yeah, you don't know anything. I know a bit more now, 12 episodes later. Brightly burn. That's very similar to an effect we saw in episode 12. That's fun. That's like bringing full circle on the season. That's good. Season, core, you know what I'm talking about. You most certainly did. Ah, and that's very similar to episode 11. Yeah, kiss off. Later, sucker. They still feels good, yeah? Feels bad when she does it to Utena. He says like baby here or something, I remember. This certainly is a truncated version of episode 1. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about like the ending of episode 12. It's very similar to this. The cycle continues. Did we learn anything? It's unclear. Choice. This was with Sionji again. Very true. Well, I think you will. Mokushi. I'm actually kind of really happy I structured my episodes this way this week. Like, I'm just going to do one big analysis segment, probably spend most of my time on episode 12, and it depends what happens in the end of this, but you know what I mean? Like it'll just basically be episode 12 anyway. I just kind of add 13 in, so I'm not doing that as a one-off, which would suck. Indeed. And then we fight Sionji, the broccoli head boy, and send him packing. Send him on his way. I remember this song. Bunch of stuff about the beginning. Oh yeah, so choice is a theme here. She didn't have a choice in the matter. She had to fight again, otherwise she would be expelled. Yeah, but then makes the choice as well to save Anchi. Because I can't let Anchi be in possession of this big creep here. Because he sucks. People love getting slapped in this show. People get jacked in this movie. Here he comes to save the day. Then she fucking digivolves. Then she just wins. Oh, even her hair there is kind of really bright, like almost like a white. Yeah, cool. Recap episode kind of based. Mm-hmm. I'm a little bit weirded out about that, like, aren't she kissing the sword power as well? That's fucking freaking me out. It's clearly bad. She shouldn't put, like, metaphorically, she shouldn't put her mouth near the blade, and making my wife do that is bad. But what does it all mean? Yeah. Raisin. Raisin toast. I remember. I know. I know. You're desperate and stuff. Again, knowing what we know now, like all this stuff that's like, if Utena told me to stop playing music, then I would. That's clearly pushing Mickey to want to, like, duel. Indeed. This stuff was very, very interesting. I remember. Bro, episode 5, what a great episode. Stupid Sexy Torga, he's here too. Yeah, now you know that too, bud. You thought Utena was in the back pocket, but then Wakaba clutched. And then here it is, like, shattering of the illusion. Where is she? Where's Anshi? No, she doesn't. Eh? Yeah, that's very obviously the takeaway you're meant to take from that scene. Like, as soon as it was revealed that he wasn't the hero of that scene, he fucking just died. Amor? Okay. I thought the colors were corresponding to the people, but this one's red. I remember. Jury's the goat. We know that. I remember the weird love triangle that wasn't really even a triangle. It's very well edited too. It's a good recap. And of course, all this stuff about like Utena presenting like this princely persona, but only really for the purpose of finding her own prince, makes her feel like a fake, makes her feel like a hypocrite in Judy's eyes. But then here's some bullshit. No, he was stealing you from me. Then all this stuff like binaries, both are me. That's very interesting too. As a result, I feel alone, hollow almost. Also, there's my sword. Oh, that was a great edit too. She's lucky the sword didn't fucking hit her in the head. I have to remember that. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Judy's color isn't yellow, it's fucking orange. Your color's yellow. You big dumby. I'm stupid. I'll never underestimate you again. Nanami, you crazy, crazy son of a gun. Remember how she killed that cat? I definitely remember that. And then cats and Utena. Very similar. Yeah? And you definitely didn't hurt your brother is the best part. Get you in the box. Off you go. So there's a glimmer of hope there for Nanami, if that makes any sense, because that box is open. I feel like she almost feels like she's still atoning for this, so she needs to kind of lean into this bad guy persona almost. Okay. The one that we have hoped for. Okay. So she needs to keep going until the Revolution Duel. Mm-hmm. Whatever you say. Don't know. It depends who she has to fight. Also, you kind of had like a weird Archie with you. Thoughts? Archie's skin color? Anything? All right. No, we're so back. What? The clouds are moving so quickly. A new threat is on the horizon. potentially. I'm, yeah, quite interested. Butterfly? UFO? New character? Sure. Whatever you say. A lot of boys? A lot of boys looking up? I have questions. I love this technique they used. It seems like the prince, or the guy, he's like trapped in the silhouette realm, which is great. It's almost like he's trapped in the past, like using the show's only, like using their internal visual language, which I think is a fantastic technique. Like he needs to be brought from the past, if he's like frozen or trapped or something, into the present, and then he'll gain corporeal form like he is up there. I just moved my mouse like you guys could see, but you can't. Episode good. It's about as good as you can expect a recap episode to be without being like straight up like Ember Island players from Last Airbender, which is not even a recap episode really. It's way too high budget. If you're going to actually reuse footage and you're going to twist it so a new, seemingly important character is going to talk about it, that's a great way to do it. I don't know. All right, next. What have we got? Yeah, there we go. Big Brother, huh? There you go. Huh. Yeah, bunch of new characters, huh? Who are you? I like you. I like you too. Oh, you that's that color rose. Black Rose. Whoa. Alright, there's some insane reveals there, but yeah, I guess I'll go back to episode 12 and have a talk about that again and see what I can gather. Yeah, we'll see what I come to the conclusion of. I don't know if I was right in my first interpretation or the second one, or I don't know what's going on. We'll see. And we're back, episodes 12 and 13 recorded. And what are my thoughts? What are my thoughts? I'm conflicted about episode 12. I really stand still very conflicted about it. I've had another skim through and stuff and blah, 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 blah. What is right? What is right here? I don't think us continuing to do the duels is right. No, but now with episode 13, it's been recontextualized, right? We need to get to a certain duel. We need to get to the revolution duel, right? That is what is being described in episode 13. So, as long as we get to the revolution duel, and Anshi is with Utena, then maybe that leads to a happy ending for all? Potentially, right? What I'm seeing, again, this is all very predictive, but I think it's got some basis now. The prince is trapped. The prince from the flashback, the one that we see, the representation of a prince. Again, is that a real character? Is it fake? Or is it like a metaphor? You'd have to imagine it's a real character now if you have seemingly Anshi's brother coming in and like talking at him. Unless, again, he's just a representation of a power that one may possess. Like, cool. It seems like a good thing that we should free the guy that's imprisoned. And it seems like he gets freed if we continue to possess the Rose Bride. Or continue to do duels and then we win, right? Like, that seems like something that should happen. That seems like something we should do to free the guy. We shouldn't let other people free the guy because they're going to steal his power, whatever that may be, and revolutionize the world and break a few eggs to make an omelet or whatever they say. It seems like Anshi's motivation here is to continue with the Rose Bride system however she can, because it's going to free someone. Again, I'm very aware that he also has darker tone of skin, right? Which Anshi and Anshi's brother both share, right? Wouldn't it make sense that that character would also be related? Maybe. So if we need to get to this certain point and we need to continue doing the Rose duels, if we're going to continue doing the fucking William Tell shoot a fucking bow and arrow at the boy's head, like, at least we're doing it with a purpose and with an end in mind. I think that's better But still, I don't like it. I don't think it's a good thing. I think it's only a good thing if we get to the end of it and we have a good character like Utena in charge. Somebody that's genuinely selfless. I don't know, maybe someone that's genuinely selfless in real life should be the people in power as well. I don't know, that'd be kind of cool. Again, very predictive. I could just be wrong in all of that. Which brings me back to episode 12. Like, should I feel happy about this? This is literally shot for shot the end of episode 1. It's the end of episode 12. Should we have learnt anything from those previous episodes? Are we just in the same circumstance? Unclear. It is unclear as of right now if that is the case. If we should be feeling good about this or not. I feel good about it because Torga's a fucking, playboy piece of shit, right? He seems like a bad bloke, or at least a bit annoying. So I'm happy that he's, like, lost and stuff. That's good. But should I be happy that Utena's still participating? I guess she has to, right? Because otherwise, if I don't participate, it's the same thing as Saionji, right? In episode 2. I need to continue to participate because if I don't participate, evil ne'er-do-wells could get the power, right? Could be in possession of Anshi, and could revolutionize the world in a bad way. Make sense? I think that makes sense. I need to continue to be here, not only because I, support Anshi and her autonomy and whatever else the hell, right? But also because I need to prevent the bad guys from winning. That's a good reason to continue being in the thing. Yeah, conflicted. But let's go back to the start, because we do a lot of interesting things here. First, we start with a pretty, shot-for-shot recreation of the last episode. It's called a recap. Let's call it a recap. Where we just get reintroduced to the concepts and what has happened, and this kiss-off from Anshi, and why Utena's down in the dumps. And a pretty clever little technique here as well, where we have the Tenjo-san from Anshi, right, from the kiss-off, through to a roll call, demonstrating that Tenjo-san also isn't here. She isn't at school today, and this worries Wakaba. See? Worried Wakaba, there she is. Yeah, this title also rings a little bit weird for me. Unless we're talking about Wakaba, because she does some really good friend stuff here. She really gets, plus rep. She's a good character this episode. Shoutouts to Wakaba. I don't think that Utena's particularly being a good friend. She kind of is. I mean, after she finally turns, she's, standing up to Torga for Wakaba's sake, or for Anshi's sake, excuse me. That's decent friend stuff, but also it's in the service of getting back her own status quo, of getting back her own personal normal, and Anshi's normal as well. Like, that's good that we return to the status quo. But also, I think we decided in the comments this week that the normal status quo is also not entirely fantastic all the time. So that's what's ringing a little bit weird. Again, I've said that a lot. I'm going to try to move on to other stuff. Like how well directed this episode is, because I think it is. It really is. So Wakaba goes to Utena's dorm. We see stuff like this. Anshi's skip town. She's out of there. And we see Utena waking up the next day dejected. How many times have you seen Utena's eyes this, shrunken? She's normally bright-eyed and wide-eyed and kind of innocent and kind of cool for that, right? Like, that's her protagonist charm. She's lost all that here. She's moody and contemplative, which is not how we like our Utena. Wakaba kind of misreads the room here and comes on with a lot of energy that's very positive all at once. But also normally, like, Utena would respond to this kind of stuff, so it's not Wakaba's fault. She just thinks that it'll be normal, and it isn't. We want to get back the normal that we had with Wakaba, right? And that's what's achieved through about this portion of the episode where she kind of changes her tune. So Wakaba kind of asks where Tenjo is, and we get these kind of flashbacks here with the white roses. So almost like this is for the better, because now the prince in Torga now has possession of the bride. But why does it still hurt so much when she left? Why does my OBS do that? Why does my VLC do that, excuse me? It's still very bad. And there's Choo Choo, that'll do. They're running away, they're skipping town. You could imagine that this happened the night before, and then Utena's waking up and not feeling great about the whole thing. Even pacing-wise, this episode very early is pretty slow. It's not like an Utena episode, which is normally pretty quick. And again, that change is purposeful, right? It is to demonstrate that this isn't normal. This isn't a normal episode, right? I would have even liked to see some other meta breaks of normal in this episode. Like, let's say just no opening, cold open, right? No flashback, no title cards, stuff like that, right? Like meta representations that the show isn't normal this episode. I think they would have been quite effective. Again, speaking of this not normal theme, we have, I guess, the thing that was previewed last week. There's a hole in the shoulder of Utena's prince uniform, right? The one that she normally wears that differentiates herself from everyone else. Again, think to the first episode, that's the first thing that the teacher gets mad at her about. Like, it's a pretty definitive Utena character trait that she wears this uniform and differentiates herself. Wakaba offers to fix the uniform. Actually, don't worry about it, I have another uniform. Cute Utena coming to school in the girl's uniform. Oh, there she is. And she looks fucking enthusiastic about it too. That's great. Cool, let's talk about another thing, which is prince versus princess, which is husband versus wife versus engaged versus bride. She is clearly on the other side of the spectrum right now. She feels like she's been pushed in that direction by Torga, right? If my prince, who I think is currently Torga, right? Or maybe at least think for maybe half a second that he is, right? If he currently has the bride, right? Then that should be good. I should be happy with that. I should be satisfied. Clearly she isn't, but whatever. And if that's the case, then, and he's my prince, then maybe I should try to, push myself in the other direction towards the other end of the spectrum, and feel some kind of pull there as a result. So again, it's working on two levels. It's working on this kind of gender parallel level, which I keep getting at, but it's also working on the show's or this episode's major theme, I should say, which is, individual versus institution and being unique versus normal and that kind of thing. She's falling into normalcy. Like, some things never change. The girls are still swooning and stuff, and they say that they like the look, mostly because they're all just in love with Utena, much to Wakaba's disgust, but clearly she doesn't feel that type of way about it. She doesn't like this. This isn't who she is. Utena even there says that she's now going to wear this every day. She's going to discard these unique things about herself and ingratiate herself into the crowd. Then we have what's her fucking name? Oh my god, Anshi. She pops out of nowhere and greets Utena. And I was curious in the moment of the timing here, right? If we can extrapolate things out and your major goal right now is to keep the duels going until the revolution duel where something may happen, then it's in your interest to keep people in the game. So I was wondering if you were here right now, just as she said that she was going to stop being a prince and stop doing the duels and blah, 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 become normal, you popped up and motivated her not to be normal again. But that doesn't seem to be the case in the justification for this scene. So I'm going to kind of drop that line. I don't think that's quite correct. Either way, the meeting's super awkward. They just kind of greet each other with good mornings. Good morning, Himemiya, not Anshi. And good morning, Tenjo-san, right? Wakaba notices this as well. There's been a falling out between these two. Maybe that's why Utena is acting the way she is this episode. And Choo-Choo just being annoying too. As you do, eating a cookie. Yeah, I guess after the kiss-off that Utena received at the end of episode 11, right? She must think that, oh, Anshi doesn't want me at all now, right? She's happy in this new spot. She doesn't need saving, blah, 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 blah. That's why I have to be normal. I can't want to gain what I had before back because she doesn't need saving. I need to want it back on my own terms? Maybe, something like that. Either way, Torga's just kind of a smug bastard at the student council meeting. He's just kind of showing off the Rose Bride. As you can see here, I have her now. How cool's that? Literally what I was talking about in the start of the video about, like, literally showing off the wife as a possession to other men. And Judah, you know what I mean, right? People in the dueling game. And the two of them are pretty skeptical about how Torga did this. He says he did it with skill and grace. That's what I hope you would think, but again, we just kind of want to know the details. And yeah, I rescued this lonely princess here as the noble prince I am, that's all. I don't fucking believe you for a second. And even some nice meta stuff here as well. A play is hardly a play if the prince and the princess don't get together in the final act. Our prince and our princess kind of get together in the final act of this core, which is the very end of this episode. So that's a very meta ending. You know what I mean? That's a very traditional ending. I'm wondering if our actual ending by the end of everything will be a little bit more meta. Yeah, bold of you to presume that it's the final act right now. Archie's face in this episode's really weird. She looks like she's fucking possessed or something. I don't like it. She's like, if I'm a bother, I can wait outside. And it's like, no, you need to be here. Stand next to me. That's where I want you to be. I want you by my side at all times to show you off. Even Mickey looks fucking distressed, right? Seeing as you are my bride, I want to show you off in front of everybody else. Fuck you, Mickey. That's basically what he's saying. Now we have Wakaba and Utena at the lunch table. Wakaba's still questioning Utena, knows she's being weird. You have to know that you're being weird, right? That you're not being your normal self right now. You have to know that, Utena. And then Torga shows up and is kind of a bitch for a bit. I heard the rumors, but this transformation really is quite something. Yeah, I mean, you think that Utena is falling right into your trap for her, which is for her to become, like, your wife? Like, you like Utena, right? Like, that's, like, one of your overall goals here. And you think that this is the final step of your plan, that you finally got her right where you want her. So Torga, being very suave here, invites her out to dinner this Sunday without the bride. And then, yeah, it starts getting a little bit touchy-feely, hand on the shoulder. Wakaba doesn't like that. Keeps going here, holding hands. Both the rose seals in frame as well, right? Like, this isn't what would normally happen between two duelists, right? Like, they shouldn't be caressing each other. They should be in conflict. Like that. Like, this feels wrong to me, I feel. Wakaba keeps getting mad. We love that. She feels some kind of way about this. Fair enough. She likes Utena, but also notices that Utena isn't doing what Utena would normally do and feels very strongly about that as well. Yeah, after, like, talking to Torga, say, hey, get your hands off her, he doesn't listen, and then goes to Utena. If you don't like it, then tell him. And then, yeah, just emotionless, right? Just kind of looking down, numb, just kind of accepting it. That's when Wakaba goes for the glass of water, tries to throw it. You saw fucking Torga start to move there just slightly, and instead throws the glass of water at Anchi, who was standing behind. So again, is that a very princely thing to do? You know that Anchi's behind you, but I'm not going to let myself get wet with the glass of water. I'm going to let my rose bride take the bullet. Not great. Not great at all. So initially I thought that Wakaba didn't miss. I thought that she went straight for Anchi, because she's blaming her for why Utena isn't acting the way she is, right? Which she sees as the base problem here. Because Torga's gonna Torga, he's gonna be a creep, right? That's fine. I don't expect him to stop being a creep. What I don't expect is for Utena to take it. And I think that that's why I'm blaming you, Anchi, right? It's your fault too. You're just standing there and spacing out. She's like this because of your fight or whatever, right? So take some responsibility. And then cue slap, right? Slap from Utena to Wakaba. Like, at least you're doing something, though. At least you feel some kind of way about something and you're not completely numb. Of course, because you know that Anchi isn't the one to blame here for any of this. I was the one that fucked up. I was the one that made the mistakes here. And I should be the one to blame. So I'm going to, in a pretty unfair way, take that anger out on Wakaba. But Wakaba's base, because she, like, slaps her back. Yeah, take profile picture alert. Holy shit. She's cool. And then, yeah, the slaps Utena back there. Could stand her ground. So Wakaba's on protection duty here. Torga says that we'll talk alone next time and we'll discuss our dinner date, which I'm sure is only about dinner and not all the touching that we just did, caressing. That won't be involved in the dinner date at all. This is a kind of a crucial moment as well, even despite everything that just happened. I feel like Utena's almost out of her stupor right now. She handed a handkerchief to the bride to dry her off, right? You know, that's a very princely thing to do. It's in contrast to the rest of the persona she's portrayed this episode. So she's kind of becoming herself again, putting herself out for somebody else. Very princely. And then Wakaba continues to be based. She just does. Utena tries to tell her to stay out of her business. No way, I'm not stopping. Like, Utena keeps trying to push her away, but she won't let her go. That's why Wakaba's so cool. Hell yeah. So then after the kind of eye catch in the middle of the episode, we come back, and I think we get a very, very telling scene for Torga, right? So he's on the phone, I'm presuming with another girl right now. I'm always thinking about you, blah, 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 blah. Let's meet here. Right in front of his, like, bride wife. You know what I mean? So clearly he doesn't care about you either. Like, not at all. He's willing and able to go out and date other girls whilst you're just here. Because again, you know more than you're letting on, and you know that you're the key to everything, and you just want to hold on to her until you get the power to revolutionize the world or whatever the hell. So, like, you suck, Torga. We hate Torga. He sucks. Even drinking some tea, linking back to episode 11 and seeing her own reflection in the tea, trying to see what she truly wants in all of this. So let's say that all of Anshi's deeds are in the service of saving her brother, who I'm imagining is the prince guy. If not, then it's in service of saving the prince for whatever other reason, right? Cool. That's all well and good. You're making self-sacrifices to save bro. Was that your decision? To now be this way, to be this Rose Bride, for that to happen? It seems like your big brother doesn't know about that. You know? Does that make any sense? Like, are you still behind everything making sacrifices for some guy and not doing what you truly want? Is my question. And when you actually do what you truly want to do at the end of the day, that's when I think the show is done. That's when I think we've accomplished our goal of the rest of the show, which is let, Anshi do what Anshi wants to do. That's what I really want in the show, right? Like, yeah, right now she's just kind of left all alone, looking into that glass again, looking down at Choo Choo. And then maybe imagines for a moment that Utena's here, which is great. But she isn't here. So here's my thing, right? Is that Anshi deep down thinking that? Is that deep down she's like, shit, I wish Utena was here. At least she kind of hung out with me and stuff. Or hung out with me, I should say. Maybe. I'm thinking that's true. That's true. That's truly what you want here in this moment, because it's preferable in the moment right now to Torga. But overall, I think you still have greater goals than that of just hanging out with Utena, I think. And then, of course, looks at the handkerchief here, and then, yeah, gets reminded of a bunch of stuff of how good Utena was in comparison to Torga, who kind of sucks. So Wakaba ran off before, and then Utena's gone and found her again, right? She's going to try to say sorry, but Wakaba isn't having any part of it. And then, yeah, I just wanted to talk about this frame here, right? We have this big wide shot, characters very small in the scene, of an overbearing, thorny red rose over the top of them all, right? Like, this is what it looks like when Torga's in charge of the system. The system is this, never-ending, almost, forest of thorns, and the roses stand at the top, right? The red representing Torga. We feel like little people in this big system right now, right? We feel like we can't stand up to this. We feel like we're being, like, overshadowed by it. Like, we can't do anything about it. It's just a fact of life. But then by the end of the scene, she's kind of standing up a little bit more, and she's facing it head on a little bit more too. And she walks over to that sunlit garden, and she gives him a piece of her mind. That's something, I think, right? It's not so, the thorns there aren't so overbearing when you actually stand up to them. I think there's something there. So they have a bit of a heart-to-heart here. Wakaba is just like saying, like, I don't get any of this. I know that the Prez is involved, and I know that him and me is involved, but I don't get it. Like, why are you even wearing that uniform? And then Utena's like, but this is normal, isn't it? No, it's not normal. I mean, not normal is normal for you. So you should be your own personal normal. Get my normal back. And then Utena gets to thinking about what her normal is, right? Like, Anshi walked away. Like, she's gone now. Like, my normal was when Anshi was near me. That's what Utena's interpreting this as now. And then Wakaba says, I don't get it, but if somebody took something from you that made you not normal, or normal in the process of not being normal, you get what I mean, then take that back. Go take your normal back. Go be a go-getter. And go do it. And then cue the flashes and the smear and the lovely, I guess, reminiscences of Utena here about Anshi, right? All these fun scenes and fun times we had together. I need to recapture that. And yeah, that kiss off at the end, that hurt, right? But as a result, I need to get her back so I don't feel like that forever. So I don't let that have one over on me. Also, we get a reverse angle here. I don't believe we got this before. This face here from Archie, it's almost like I hated doing that, but I had to do that. You know? Again, Wakaba continues to plead. Your normal is way more cool than normal. That uniform's just not right for you. It's like, here's a change, right? Gomen Wakaba, like this smear on the lens, this very, like, saturated shot. Am I making any sense here? This feels like it's a change of heart. I know in the scene, right? She's reverting back to her normal self a bit more. It feels very romantic. It feels very shoujo, right? It feels like this is what the guy would turn up and look at the girl doing. That makes any sense, right? Like I've changed now, but it's also kind of out of focus and weird. It doesn't feel real. It still feels like a bit of an act. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't fit right. It still doesn't feel like our overall conclusion here. It feels like we're going to make up something a little bit smarter than this. Either way, this is pretty telling as well, this walkover, both hands on the shoulder, very much taller than her. Leans in for the kiss, even if it's just a kiss on the forehead. Maybe even kissing the tears away, I don't know. And then Utena runs off and says that she's going to go recapture her normal, leaving Wakaba very confused about the whole situation. So then we have Torga and fucking Anchi in the sunlit garden. Like, they're just having a smooch while she's over there watering the flowers, which I think is very funny. Like, oh yeah, I'm content. While my fucking husbando over there is just like having a smooch, if I can grab it. Yeah. Like, that can't be what you want here. So then Torga sees that Utena's approaching, tells this girl to run away, which she does, and then Utena's there. He thinks that she's returning to continue the conversation that they were having about a date potentially on Sunday, but that's not the case. Utena says now. It's like, oh, I mean, we can do it. We can have a date now. I'm ready to go. And infer from there what you will. No, instead she's being based. Dueling arena forest now. Which surprises everybody, Anchi included, and we're off to do another duel. Which means another Shadow Girl little thing, right? They're aliens? I don't really understand. But we start here, go, you know, be normal school, normal job, normal wife, all that kind of stuff. Train spotting type beat. But again, these Shadow Girls aren't normal. We've done plenty and we've grown wary. So then, it's time to return to our normal, in which they get on a fucking flying saucer and fly away, that has very similar architecture to the rest of the school. Which is all well and good, right? Cool. That's fucking weird and breaking the norm, that it turns out that they're aliens and that they just fucking fly away. They're breaking away from what normal is, what is considered normal, right? Normal family, normal house, normal wife, normal job, all that kind of stuff, right? They're breaking out of that, they're going on their alien spaceship and flying away. Utena's doing the same thing. She's breaking out of what society considers normal right now and taking back her own normal, right? It's normal for the Shadow Girls to be on a UFO. It's normal for Utena to have Anchi and, you know, wear a boy's uniform and do all that kind of stuff, right? Or the prince uniform. You know what I mean? I think Juri just kind of got over Torga's shit and is like, hey, here's a fucking sword you can use to fight him. Have this. It's an indispensable prop for any final act. Okay, thank you, theater kid Juri. But again, we're breaking structure here. I wanted to talk about this, right? Like, we're breaking a normal structure, which is, again, like the normal Absolute Destiny Apocalypse walk up to the dueling arena. We've got a different tune, and we're making our way through that, as opposed to using those same shots. We're breaking structure, we're breaking what's normal in this episode about breaking out of what's normal, and attaining my new normal, which is the status quo, which also runs in conflict to the rest of the themes of the episode, which is kind of weird. I don't know. It's a weird one. Either way, the track kind of rips. I really like the brass sections there. So they're up the top here. Torga asks Utena why she wants the challenge. I've discovered that there's more important things than you, Torga, right? And the camera pans across to Anchi. However, Torga doesn't think he'll lose, for he has the power of, again, the power of Dios, the sword, and all that shit. He has everything on his side now that Utena had on her side. And then we have our stupid power-up, right? Okay. So let's talk about this physically first. It seems like she has the power to kiss the blade and turn it all sparkly and shiny and make it like a superpowered sword. It has so much force behind it. He turns into a fucking Dark Souls boss. He becomes cool. Cool. That's neither here nor there. What I'm talking about that's more interesting here is the metaphorical side. I'm willing and able to hurt my Rose Bride, to put her face that close to the blade, to make myself more powerful. That's how selfish I am here, right? That's why I think, even after the fact here, I doubt this is an ability that Utena will ever use, right? Unless she has the express okay from you or something like that. I just don't think it metaphorically matches up with what her theme should be as it pertains to Archie. Like, Torga, this is like a villain move, dog. You don't you don't put your fake wife's face that close to a blade to fight your real wife, or what you think is your real wife. Like, this can't be good, right? Like, if you have a smug Torga looking down like that, it isn't a good move. Like, Utena can't even watch. She hates that shit. Yeah, she's never using this ability at all. Either way, it does make it like a fucking lightsaber, and it's flashing and stuff. Flashing multicolors there too. There's even a little bit of green in there. Shoutouts to my audience that is having a fucking epileptic fit right now, but that's neither here nor there. We're about to start the battle. That is the power of the Rose Bride of Dios. The power of Dios, Blade of Dios, power of... Everything's Dios, everything's God. Cool, and then these two goobers start fighting. Again, we still have Anshi with this blank look. She can't possibly defeat Master Torga. Poor thing, hope it's over soon. Why do you hope it's over soon? Do you still, harbor some amount of sympathy for her, maybe? Interesting. Cool, then Torga goes about his business, starts, cutting shit. Only really the hilt of the sword left. Starts cutting her clothes apart almost. Yeah, as we see there, right? And then we get song lyrics, which I will do what I normally do. I will read the song lyrics and come back and then do the rest of the scene. No human has any words to speak. No thing has any words to speak either. Okay, the kind of conflating of humans and objects? That's something with Anshi this episode for sure. Like, neither of these have any words to speak. Only within the unchangeable darkness known as yesterday, only within the ungraspable glint known as now, only within the still unilluminated darkness known as tomorrow, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, sure. Within the play, a human can become whoever, a thing can become whoever too. Only on the stage, only when we're in true control over everything that happens, can we actually become whatever and whoever. Okay, that's a very, meta thing to talk about. Because, again, a lot of these songs by J.A. Caesar come from stage productions, right? So it's only when I'm on the stage like this can I actually truly, outwardly, I guess, perceive? What's the word? Express who I actually want to be. Or whatever I want to be. Only within the unchangeable darkness known as memory, only within the ungraspable glint known as creation, only within the still unilluminated darkness known as tomorrow, within the play, O actors wearing the masks of time, dance in the play of the ancient continent. O you passengers of the galactic railway, dance for the 3 of 7 wonders you yearn for. Like a star, like a firefly, born with a glimmer, vanish with a glimmer. We too are only born to vanish, born with a glimmer, now vanish with a glimmer. Be born only to vanish, O soul of mine. Born with a glimmer, it vanished with a glimmer. Born and vanished, O star of mine, the first star, O star of mine. Glimmer and then vanish, O firefly star. Sure. Okay, and that takes us to pretty much the fucking credits. Alright, sweet, cool. Seems like a lot of stuff about beginnings and endings. Again, contrasting the first song in the first episode, or the second song in the second episode, I should say, which was very much about beginnings, about Genesis and about the Big Bang and about lots of stuff, right? It posits the position, again, with the rest of the themes of the episode, about normalcy, that we can only truly be who we are on the stage and who we want to be on the stage. And the stage, again, if you want to rewatch my Revue Starlight metaphor, it's pretty broad, the stage metaphor here. And again, this time it's like from the beginning of time we're performing glimmer, glimmer, star, blah, 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 to the end of time, to when that shuts out, to when, from yesterday to now to tomorrow, we're always performing, and there's a finite beginning and end to it all. That's what I'm getting for the lyrics that are already pretty abstract. Yeah, again, thinking about these lyrics in kind of in conjunction with a lot of the Revue Starlight theming we went through about what it means to perform on the stage and change who you are, and should you change who you are, and where should we go at the end of all this? Should we walk in separate directions? Should we stay in the same? Blah, 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 blah. Should we let the same thing roll on forever and ever and ever and ever, or should we stop that? Cool. I think I kind of like the theming here. I think it's cool. Either way, Utena's kind of getting pieced up during this fight early. Torga's berating her by saying, you were the Rose Bride, but you didn't know about this part of the ability. How dare you? You're a poser. Even now, you still don't understand. Utena says, so what? I don't understand, but I'm still trying to do the right thing regardless. Something's off about Utena. She could die. Why is she fighting this duel? Thinks Anshi. Right? She's really putting it all on the line here, being truly selfless. Maybe I don't know anything about Himamiya or anything else, but I just want to get my normal back. A motivation which Torga thinks is pitiful, right? I have so much larger dreams than this than your, frankly, mundane dream. It's very internal. I probably want to use this power for something way larger that we haven't talked about yet. That's why I think that this kind of thing is pitiful. So it looks like it's over for Utena, but then Anshi, this reminds me of something that happened back then. I remember. So it's almost like the prince intervenes here, right? I think we explain in the next episode that it seems like the prince has really taken a liking to Utena, kind of chosen her as a real champion here, and is kind of going to assist her along the way. Either way, something happens and Torga no longer has a lightsaber. It's just like a normal saber now. Instead, this causes Anshi to cry. Is it that inspirational because you want to be set free? Or is it something more involving your connection to whoever this prince is? And then this is very similar to the first episode in that shot of Saionji and Utena. And Utena is casting him away in a very similar light. If that makes any sense. Like, Saionji bad guy. We know that from episode 1. He's fucking slapping Anshi. That's bad. He's being a bit of a fuckhead. Cool. So I'm going to step in and I'm going to, save Anshi. I'm going to save the girl that's right in front of me. Very similar here. Torga's being kind of a cunt. So Utena's going to jump in and save the day. Very similar to the kind of, again, full circle in that whole first season, first core. So then Torga's kind of devastated. He kind of just got beaten. And yeah, Utena's here to take back Anshi. And then again, mirroring episode 1, she's kind of walking out from the stairs. But Anchi walks out from behind the pillar and says, hey, it's time to go home or whatever. I've been waiting for you, Utena-sama, no more Tenjo-san, of course. I am the Rose Bride from this day forward. And then, yeah, you don't need to say anything else. Everything's okay now. Let's go home. And then this, weird Riz face from, Utena. She's put on the moves. Almost looks kind of like Torga. Weird. And then, yeah, this uncomfortable smile again from Anchi. At least I feel like it's uncomfortable. That doesn't feel right. And then, yeah, as the song ends, to be continued, that's the last shot we see of that episode. Again, I'm on that same spot. I'm like, that doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel like the ending we should be overall going for here. And let me get 13 up because I won't have that much more to say here, really. Cool, so this is a recap episode, chat room. So a lot of it's just going to be recap. I'm not going to be going back through the recap a second time. You would have noticed that a lot of my thoughts and feelings during the recap episode were just said again, because I've already seen the content once. It's nice seeing it again. It's nice being reminded of certain things. Again, I've commented on it already. But yeah, this episode's called Tracing a Path, and let's watch the little start here, because that's the most important part, really. Cool, so first we have that shot there, which normally indicates a duel's about to happen, and then we have the fucking Shadow Girls are now in space, and they're in spacesuits, and they're still talking to each other about stuff. Our meddlesome hero has won yet another duel. History is written by the winners, losers flop like fish out of water. The sway of a lily in her step. Oh, Lily. But oh, brave hero, stop getting distracted. Have you heard the news? This is odd too. You're like literally making the scene? Another Shadow Girl is making the Shadow Girl scene? It's almost like it's a production that they're putting on for us, which is a little bit odd, but sure. Then we see Torga's house, and Torga's kind of going psycho. Nanami's looking in on him, but basically what he's doing is he's listening to a recording of the student council little intro thing about breaking the egg and the world shell and all that kind of stuff, right? We must break the world shell to revolutionize the world. He's listening to that on repeat and looking out to the sunset. He's feeling a little bit glum. He's sulking almost. And of course, Nanami's going to hate that because, he's probably being loud too. He's probably got the speakers up to fucking 11. playing this weird speech on a loop. Definitely healthy behavior, for sure. Cool, so then we had this kind of ominous music playing, right? We see the dueling arena. We see old mate come up. Hello, old mate. So, from the end of the episode, at least from the little bit of dialogue we hear, it seems like Archie says that this is her big brother. Cool. So now we have you, who then goes off seemingly into the castle? Question mark? Like he looks up and then smiles, and then it seems like the castle descends on him, or he ascends up, or something. Either way, he ends up in the castle, right? And then we have the prince. He's sitting on top of Egg, and here's the dialogue. You've still not awoken. Still here, unable to break the egg's shell. Cool, what does this imply? This implies that the prince wants to break the world shell, the egg shell of the world, and revolutionize the world. He wants to revolutionize. But for some reason, he's still here, unable to move. He's been trapped here, maybe. Even the student council president faced defeat. In the end, she conquered her 7th trial, a duel named Self. And we go through various duels in this episode, right? And as it turns out, all the duels we've done so far have names, and we go through those names in this episode. This one named Self is pretty on the nose. Utena is finding her sense of normal again, her sense of self almost, and wants to pursue Archie in the, in the pursuit of that, right? That sounds good. Except it doesn't really. But anyway, we're moving on. Seeing her covered in injuries, yet still protecting the Rose Bride, brought back some nostalgic memories. Maybe that was truly a very princely act, and you wanted to act according to that, right? I imagine even the Rose Bride herself was slightly moved. And now it seems you have begun placing your hopes on her. So again, I feel like the prince is really in Utena's corner. He wants her to succeed here. But no, that's not quite right either. Maybe you just oppose whatever the other person is going for, right? So ever since this first duel named Friendship against Sayonji, right? You already had expectations of her back then. So you haven't taken a liking to her. You liked her from way back. Okay, I understand that now. That's a bit stronger. And I'm imagining that this is French for whatever word we're saying. So this one's friendship. And of course, we've got a lot of color stuff going in here. Of course, the green window here, along with the green hourglass, right? And the sand in the hourglass is green here. We're going to match up these colors to the various characters and blah, 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 blah. The only one that's confusing me because I'm colorblind is the Judy one later on. No, that's definitely orange. I'm just fucking blind. Okay, that makes more sense. Cool. Even there's almost like a purple hue here. Or is that a blue for Mickey? Unclear. So essentially the style we go for with these is seemingly showing the fight at the end of whatever they were, centering around the duels themselves, but interplacing it with a bunch of scenes that, like, I guess, demonstrate or remind the audience of what the themes and the point of those duels were, right? So, for example, we'll see Mickey fighting, and then we'll get flashes of the sheet music, and flashes of Torg, and flashes of Archie on the piano, and a bunch of other stuff, right? Like, that makes sense. That's the reasons why this occurs, and makes it a good kind of recap episode. It reminds me a lot of things. It's good. Works as a really good truncated version of those episodes, you know? I think the decision to show this scene almost in full again and contrast it with episode 12 was a really nice touch as well. Just reminds the audience of how similar this is to the very start of the show. So then we have the next duel called Choice. This one, again, pretty obvious. She makes the choice to, I guess, instead of walking away, well, she doesn't give the choice to walk away. She has to participate, otherwise she'll be expelled. But then she's like, oh, well, that's all well and good. I'll just throw. I'm just going to throw the fight. But then realizes, hey, Archie's in a lot of trouble here. If I just choose to throw, then she's just going to go back to a bad situation. And that doesn't feel good for me, right? That's not what a prince would do. So, again, I feel like I have to make the choice here to continue to participate, to get myself further ingratiated into these rose duels. I think this is a great word for that episode. We play like the full Destiny Apocalypse blah 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 there as well, which is pretty cool. It's also a great little reminder of all the song lyrics as well as the bullshit that happens at the end of this episode, which makes more sense now that we're getting this scene here. It was from that moment
Again, that bullshit we just saw with the white rose like rotating. It was from that moment that your power, the power of Dios, finally began unsealing itself. That girl certainly is fascinating. She may even herald the complete rebirth of the power of Dios? Sure, whatever you say. Either way, there's a few more windows to get through here till we get to that point. We have, what is it, blue, then orange, then yellow, then red, going from Miki to Juri to Nanami to Torga. Makes sense. What is raison? Raison? Let's look up raison. Again, very easy one. It's just reason. I thought it was. Is that reason insofar as Mickey has a pretty definite reason for why he's doing this? Maybe? I don't understand. Again, this is just really good. Like, you don't hear the musical accompaniment here, but bam, 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 ba-da-da-da is really, really good, right? Like, just those quick flashes of the evocative imagery of the episode to get across what is needed for the flashback. And of course, the reason why Mickey struggles here is shown pretty plainly. Again, she's cheering for Utena. That breaks the magic, that breaks the delusion that he has, as we see there, and causes him to fail. I should note that what confined them was not the power to revolutionize the world. In trying to possess a miracle, the miracle possessed them. And then Juri? Okay. In trying to miracle? Okay, that makes sense, sure. Weird dialogue, though. Again, just getting reminded of this excellent Juri episode is just great as well. Also, the animation in her fighting is, like, really good. And then we have adoration. Indeed, the young always seek the end of the world. And then, yeah, into the Nanami stuff. What was Juri's word again? Hang on. Amor. Amor? I know this word. Isn't there a movie named this? Oh, it literally means love. Okay, that makes sense. Because again, Juri is in love with her little friend there. Cool, then we have the cat murderer. She goes through and shows off all her stuff. Again, as I said in the reaction, it's pretty important that she shows restraint there. That she shows, like, the base level of hesitancy and then regret. And it feels like she's almost been pigeonholed into being the bad guy because of this action early in her life. Something there. That's what I think anyway. So we have choice, reason, love, adoration, conviction, and self. Conviction was the one that she had with Torga that ended in the one where Torga won. You know what I mean? It's the one where he was successful. Conviction there. Conviction when Torga beat Utena. Sure, because he showed greater conviction than her at that time, whose motivations weren't. She wasn't as strong in her motivations at that point. Even after clearing 7 duels, she is still a duelist. Okay. She could well be the one we've longed for, holding up a pink rose there as well. If she proceeds, she may just reach the duel called Revolution. So I think we're trying to get to a duel that is called Revolution, in the French on the stained glass window there, and then something may happen that's a little bit more concrete. We're also here implying that that may be the day when you become fully free. And then, yeah, he even turns and looks here. We don't get to see the face, but I think that this is a little bit of the silhouette-y stuff coming through, right? We don't get to see it. It's trapped in the past. We need to bring him to the present. But he's like almost giving him a look, right? It's only natural for me to eagerly anticipate that day. It's almost like you disapprove. No? It's almost like you disapprove of him anticipating that day. Is this bad? Are we the baddies? You know what I mean? Is everything here bad? Should we not free this guy? Or should we free this guy and not use his power? Is this all part of Anshi's brother's plan? That has the fucking rat's tail? It's all part of his plan. We both stand to gain so much, but a new stage will soon be afoot. I wonder how she will fight the duels to come. Who are you? Are you Anshi? Because that changes everything. Are you Anshi? Are you Anshi? And then we have the black roses, which seems to be like we're surrounded by black roses, and there's the one pink rose here. So black roses, pink roses, and then we have a little bit of a scene here with Utena and Choo-Choo, just basically demonstrating that we're back to normal, which is nice. The clouds are moving fast over the moon. There's many threats coming into our vision, many things clouding our vision and that kind of thing, many things clouding our... There's many things coming through that may present threats. There's also a black rose in a case there. There's a butterfly on the wall. There's another fucking UFO. That probably means the Shadow Girls are back now that I think about it. There's a rose seal, which currently is not being worn by somebody, but seems to be a little bit darker as well, along with the black rose. And then all these fucking dudes. Hello, dudes. Bunch of dudes with black hair. Seems to be an order of the black rose or something like that, I think we're talking about at the very end here. Because, okay, here's the other interesting part. I don't know if I should have been reading this, but here it says that Anchi has a brother, and he doesn't know about me being the Rose Bride, or about the Duelist's Code. Yeah, he fucking does. We know he does. That doesn't make any sense. Do you not think that he knows? Or are you just lying? Because were you there too? What is happening? He clearly knows about the duels, he just spoke to us about it for a whole episode. He could not know about you being the Rose Bride, and I could be wrong about that being Anchi at the very end there, but I don't think that's the case. Anyway, I've talked for way too long about a recap episode now, Jesus Christ. So I better not do that anymore, and better move over here, and then move this over here, and then say, hey, this is really good episodes. These were good again. I'm just conflicted and confused, but that's a good way to be. Because it means I'm interested. It means I want to see what happens next. And I'm fully open for what that may be. Yeah, I'll be back next week. Probably a one-episode bagger. Considering it looks like it's going to be busy again. Sorry for the delays on this and that kind of thing, too. But thanks for watching. I'm going to say goodbye now. Show stuff, actually. If you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord. Join Discord. Love Discord. Discord. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next week. See ya. Bye.